So this is that modified Glasgow Coma score that I was mentioning. So there's 3 different categories. There's motor activity, brainstem reflexes, and level of consciousness. And then you give them a score from 6 to 1, basically from best, which would be in a normal dog, to worst. So for motor activity, for instance, a score of 6 would be if the dog has a normal gait and normal spinal reflexes. A 3 would be like recumbent with constant extensor rigidity. And then a 1 is basically recumbent hypotonia of muscles and depressed or absent spinal reflexes. So that's real bad, right? Brainstem reflexes, again, 6 to 1, normal PLRs, all the way down through that bilateral unresponsive mydriasis. And then level of consciousness, which would be normal level of consciousness through sort of depression to semi-comatose to comatose. And then again, you assign them a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 in each of these categories. And so you end up adding those up together and you get anywhere between 3 and 18. In the sort of paper that was initially published with this modified Glasgow Coma score, they assigned prognoses based upon the number that you got. So they said that if you had a 3 to an 8, that was considered a grave prognosis. A 9 through a 14 was a guarded prognosis, and a 15 through 18 was a good prognosis. And this is a chart that was published in that paper as well. And if you actually look, so let's say at a modified Glasgow Coma score of 8, so you go over on the x-axis to an 8 and go up on the y-axis, that goes to about a probability of about a 50% survival with a modified Glasgow Coma score of 8. And, you know, if you go down to, I don't know, let's say I'll pick a number 3, that looks like to me maybe about a 15% survival. If you go up to 18, you know, all the way on the end here, interestingly, it's not even 100%. You don't quite get there, but, you know, you're in the 90s for survival. So there's definitely some correlation with that. But what's important to note is that, you know, these coma scales are really not meant to guide euthanasia choices. So I would not use this to say, oh, you have a modified Glasgow Coma score of 8, therefore tell the owner, like, there's a 50-50 chance that your pet may make it. That's not really what it's meant to do. What it's more useful for, though, is for you to be able to tell whether this patient is improving or not. So if your patient comes in and has a modified Glasgow Coma score of 8, you treat it, you give it whatever that the treatment might be that you administered, and 6 hours later, it has a modified Glasgow Coma score of 10 or 12. That's good, right? It's going in the right direction. I'd probably keep moving forward with that patient, or keep going with my current therapy. If it had an 8 and now it's a 6, well, that's the wrong direction. So something's going on there, and you need to either, you know, reconsider the treatment that you're doing, or maybe have a more, you know, heart-to-heart conversation with those owners. So that's really what it's more useful for.